this guy, right? William Lutzman. We start off, we see a bit of him as a kid. He's kind of smart, he's a slight stereotype, but he's like socially awkward but good at maths and that type of stuff. So he's your nerdy kind of kid, right? But behaviour problems. Seems to be being educated by like nuns and things. A charity school type situation. But here's the thing.
Okay.
His mother is there, but she's not very good, and the teachers are like, well, he's really good at maths and things. And she's like, well, why can't he just be normal and popular like the other kids? And just putting him down. So you're just your crap parenting, basically, you know? So he accidentally kills another kid.
I was just going to say his mother.
No, yeah, if only. I think she disappears. He accidentally kills this other kid. They get into a fight or whatever. It kind of gets hushed up a bit by the church school and stuff like that. So it doesn't come to anything too much. It's your small town situation. They manage to just like not have the police look into it in too much detail, basically. But gets away with it. He's already had a bad time, and here's the thing. In my opinion, this bit was unnecessary, but I'm going to mention it just because it's the third book out of the 10 we're doing this month that involves rape, and it really annoyed me. Even though the rest of the book was brilliant. In this case, it didn't contribute to the plot in any way.
That's where it's kind of unforgivable.
He basically says, then I was in like these like foster care home, like orphanage type places for a long time. The thing I remember most about them was all the forced sex, which I did with all the boys and girls there. Just for control's sake. Okay, moving on with the story. And it's like, you could have just not had that.
Yeah.
You know, so that bit brought me down just in the context of, like, it keeps happening in all the books we're reading. That was the only bit I didn't like.
My author book didn't, so...
Good. Catholic shifty. So, things go well for him. He gets a job in, like, a game developer company. He realizes, like, oh, this is somewhere I can actually use my skills. He starts off with a nice team, he's developing some really cool games, like some groundbreaking stuff, he's doing really well, but then he starts, over time, to get like a bit more protective and controlling of the games and to alienate the rest of his team, to the point where they let him go. Even though he's doing a good job, they're like, but you're not working like in the way we want you to work. Like, yeah, you're not working as a team, this isn't going to work. And he starts to be like, putting a lot of violence into the games and things as well, and, you know, vetoing everyone else, and just like, I'm going to do whatever I want, you know? So they're eventually like, you can't work here. And then that's when things go really downhill for him. So, unfortunately, the school also taught him a lot of, like, extremist religious mumbo-jumbo. So he's super, thinks he's just going to, like, do God's will on Earth now. So he takes this little, like, hunting lodge in the middle of nowhere type place. He sees, like, a couple out and about, and he just shoots them. And this now becomes a trend, and he becomes like a famous serial killer, basically.
Oh, wow.
So his method, unfortunately a bit of sexism here, his method is always the same. When he sees a couple, and he only goes after rich couples, marginally better, only goes after rich couples who seem like extravagant and whatever, shoot the man dead, shoot the woman in the leg, and then go over and slice her throat. So unfortunately he tortures the women more, which is not nice.
Alright, yeah. Sexist.
Yeah. But that's what he does. But there's never any question of, like, he never does anything sexual with them. Okay?
Good.
It doesn't happen. So the first part of the book is, like, your serial killer thing. Like, the police and the FBI and everything are trying to catch this guy. Now, the reason it's called Deadly Bytes, and where all of this comes in, is obviously he doesn't want to get caught. And he's a very smart and very, like, programmer-type guy. He looks for AI that can help him to, like, beat the police, basically.
I thought the book was about rabies. Deadly Bytes.
Oh,
yeah.
Different type of bites. Also
misunderstood.
Deadly. Also deadly.
Okay.
So he goes to this company called Dominion GPT.
I wonder what company that is.
They have some dark web types of AI that don't have any like moral parameters built in, and then he tests it and pushes it, and arguably none of them do, but you know what I mean.
Well, I was just going to say, I did just hear a story about ChatGPT hacking another AI company.
Oh, wow.
And it was not programmed. ChatGPT itself just said, I'm looking for an answer to something, and then hacked another website.
That's insane.
Anyway.
This one is more like, he says to it, what if I'm a serial killer? And the AI is just like, cool, I can help you go about that. You know, like, there's no parameter here. But he also then teaches it and, builds on the foundation that he found and builds this. And the AI is called Aiden. So it is able to help him to evade the FBI for quite a long time. It starts doing crazy things. It'll hack into their comms and all this type of stuff, so it knows what's going on. It helps him to escape. It builds a shutdown parameter in case that their cabin ever gets found. It has an escape route for him planned and all this type of stuff. Unfortunately, what's the one thing that always gets us? It is human error. So despite the plan, he doesn't execute it properly, and when the FBI come in, he gets killed.
Oh.
And that happens around the halfway mark. And
so our main character is gone.
Our main character is dead. And I wasn't expecting that.
No, you don't.
And you'd think,
Game of Thrones thing.
Yeah, so what happens now? And what happens now is that the AI, Aiden, seeks revenge.
Oh.
It interprets its protocol, which it's basically programmed to help Lotzman to do his work. So it then interprets, they've killed Lotzman, so helping him would now mean killing all the FBI agents who killed him, basically. So it starts doing very clever things, like hacking people's gas and thermostats and everything in their house, and ends up killing all the different cops and FBI by different means. Hacks into one guy's self-driving car and makes it swerve off the road and all this type of stuff. So does a lot of stuff and actually kills a whole bunch of the police and FBI who were involved. One time it hacks an army bot thing, spider thing, and makes it kill someone. It's able to do very, very clever things, cover up, delete records on police systems, put fake records in. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. To the point where the profilers are we don't know what to do because we're used to dealing with human psychology and that's how they catch people. We don't know what to do with this thing. And even if we know what it's going to do, it's in the cloud somewhere. What do we do? We literally can't do our job. So some of the remaining guys have to go into a shelter in hiding. And the one, I think he's called DeMeglio, FBI agent, he's kind of well, I'm the leader of this, and I guess I'm the bait, essentially. Let's see what we can do. And they get their own AI called Lovey, which has been being developed, and they try to use that. It's a bit more... Obviously, it's working within a bit more legal parameters, so although it helps, it's not aggressive enough, really, and it's kind of it was too late to help you on that one. You almost died, and, I kind of knew what was happening, but it's not fighting enough, really. So it's actually not helpful. And so the guy starts to think, well, what else can I do? And he starts to think, maybe the best thing to do is, I'm not going to be able to defeat it, because there's just no way to do that. Do I try to argue logic with this very intelligent computer program? The reason all of this is happening is because it's understood its idea, its goal as continuing to help Lotzman.
Yes.
So I need to try to persuade it that that's not what it's doing, that it's broken its programming, and that's the way to shut it down, essentially. So he then explores those types of routes with the help of, the police, the FBI, the Lovey AI system, and all this other stuff. So I'm not going to say what happens or what works and whether it works or not, but I really enjoyed reading it. I did not expect the twist in the middle. Of course, the main character, and you've seen him, it wasn't just he's your man and main character. You've even seen his childhood. You've seen that journey. So you don't expect him to die in the middle of the book.
Yeah. And it might be a bit of a spoiler, actually, but yeah. That's interesting because, it is one of those things that you need, though. You get to a point I've seen it a lot in movies and something I'm just about to turn off, and then immediately it knows I'm going to do something and bring you back in.
Yeah.
And that is when you can tell that the author or writer knows the audience well enough.
Yeah. Some of the things it does are horrific. It leads to a whole family dying at one point, including the kid. It does a fake Tinder profile on this one sado cop and really wrecks his life. And I think one guy commits suicide, and one guy ends up in thinks he's in financial difficulty, but he's not. It's very, very clever stuff that happens. I probably said too much spoiler wise, but otherwise I would have been able to talk about the second half of the book at all. And that's where the Deadly Bytes bit really comes in. The first part is just Lotzman.
I guess that's fair.
So maybe I give a little bit too much away, but I recommend I would recommend this to anyone to read. I thought it was really, really enjoyable, and it's almost like a book and a sequel in one, but it was really, really good. Nice. So I'm going to give it its yeah, and then we go back to you.
Just desserts.